I have partnered up with Alois to make some champion-specific guides for the Summoner School website. I tried to put a ton of information in every single one of these guides. Currently, I've made 3 champion guides for the Summoner School website. I have made a Garen guide, a Warwick guide, and a Mordekaiser guide. In these guides, you will find stuff like explaining all the runes, the items, matchups, and so on. And on top of every single video that the guide provides, there is also a matchup spreadsheet for every single one of these guides. If you wish to check out one of these guides, the link to the website will be in the video description. Now, with this introduction out of the way, please enjoy this video.
Our courage must never waver.
This matchup is all about bullying him in the early game. You need to make sure you don't allow him to get to level 16, because then he will be a complete menace to you. You won't have the damage to kill him by that point. It will take you way too long, unless you go full crit, and then if he buys a Ronduin, you're kinda doomed. Mundo could also purchase a Sterak's Gauge, and then you're super doomed because you can't even kill him because of that Sterak's shield. In the early game, you can look to fight him out, and this is why I take Conqueror and Doran's Blade. I try to be very aggressive. This game did not start that well, actually. I did a few misplays and I also got ganked, which was not fun. An early Executioner's Calling can be very good because his W heals him and his ultimate heals him. In the super early game, don't be afraid to fight him if your ultimate and W are still up. Let's say he's around 70% health and you're 40%, you might still be able to win that. Whenever he uses his Q, you can save your own Q to cleanse that slow and then continue to charge at him. What Mundo can also do is press his W just before you silence him, and then that way when he actually reactivates his W, he will heal up a ton of your damage from the spin and the Q damage. What you can also try to do is silence him and then use your ultimate on him before he can get his ultimate off. This won't always work, but in the early game it's pretty reliable. Later on into the game, what Mundo can do is just press his ultimate at around 50% health. And if he does that, then you never get an opening to outright ulti him before his ult comes down. You could go full crit into Mundo if you'd like. You can go your Stride Breaker into Phantom Dancer into Mordor Reminder and then an Infinity Edge, and that can work well. But you can also take Youmuu's Ghost Blade instead of Phantom Dancer. I do like it here because Mundos usually never buy armor. So because of that, the lethality from Youmuu's feels very nice. In late game team fights, whenever Mundo is around 30% health, you can use your ultimate on him and he just dies. You can't really beat him on side lane at that point because he has his Warmog regen to heal after every trade, and he can also press his ulti when you try to all-in him. But in team fights, it's sort of a different story. You can ensure that when Mundo hits 30% health, he's not gonna be able to heal up at all because he just straight up dies from your ulti. And if you want to have an even higher kill threshold, you can just buy Spear of Shojin. And that way your ultimate will deal even more damage.
We fight for those who cannot. I stand ready. The Vanguard. Future.
You have slain an enemy.
For Demacia. This world needs hope. Be bold.
Killing spree.
This world needs hope. Fight.
Destroyed an inhibitor. Victory!
Walks among men. Garen, our privilege. No.
The Cassante will never long trade with you, he's just gonna do a bunch of Q autos and that's about it. Play it slowly and do not greed trades. If you see that Cassante is super passive, don't overextend. But if you can reliably take out his E whenever you engage, like him having to use it, then that's pretty good because eventually he'll run out of mana. And when he runs out of mana, he can't really do anything into you. You also have to watch out for his all-out all-in. When he hits level 6, if you're not careful, he can beat you. If he's chunked beforehand, it's not that ideal for him, but he might still look for it. Another thing you can do into Cassante is go plated steel caps. Because he usually rushes Iceborne Gauntlet and will constantly do Q plus auto, plated steel caps feels pretty good here, because they will reduce that auto attack damage and it will allow you to space him out better, on top of actually dodging out more of his Qs. Once you get to about 2 or 3 items, Cassante can no longer deal with you ever. You can just permanently sit on side lane and split push and he cannot do anything to you really. The only real issue is until that point, and that's simply because it's a super boring matchup where Cassante can choose to do absolutely nothing but play super safe. And then if you overforce and overextend, he will look to punish that and win the 1v1. You could take a Lord Dominic's Regards or Mortal Reminder as your second item so you have a lot of armor pen so you beat him. But you can also do something like Phantom Dancer second or Yomu's Ghostblade. Yomu's Ghostblade or Phantom Dancer give you more mobility around the map, but LDR or Mortal Reminder give you more dueling power. You can also take Serpent's Fang if you wish for his E-shield, but I don't recommend it unless they have more champions that give shields like an Ivern. You can either teamfight or sidelane into him, but on sidelane he can never deal with you literally ever the moment you hit 3 items. You can sit on sidelane, proc demolish and then run away, and you can repeat this pattern and the only thing he can do is pray that one of his teammates comes to help. And once that happens, your team can take an advantageous fight because they have the numbers advantage.
An enemy has been slain. An ally been slain. Has been slain. Your team has an enemy has been slain. Double kill. Your team has destroyed the
We must cast back the wicked.
I look to split push on the other side of the main objective here so that if more people come to my side, my team can hopefully take the Baron. And even if that does not necessarily happen and they don't go for the Baron, it's still good because I put pressure on the map and make sure that my team can walk up more or farm or get priority.
has been slain. An ally has been slain. Double kill. A summoner has disconnected. Victory!
In this matchup, you have to watch out for the triple brittle combo. If you ever get hit by it and your W is down, you're probably dead. If your W is up, then you're probably going to be able to survive it, but that will still hard chunk you. What you can also try to do is silence Ornn before he reactivates his ulti, and then it's just gonna pass through you, but there won't be a reactivation. But this won't always work, it's sort of unreliable for the most part. The Ornn won't long trade into you, he will just do QW auto and then run away, either by pressing his E to run away or just walking away. Try to only trade when your W is up. If your W is down and he catches you in a QW auto combo, you're always going to lose. But whenever he does a combo like that, he will use some of his mana, and because you don't have mana, you will eventually out-sustain him. The only issue is that it's gonna take a long time, because Ornn can take a rune like Mana Full Band, and that will give him even more mana. He can also purchase an early Sapphire Crystal or Tear of the Goddess, and that will give him even more mana. There's also a chance he goes for Warmog's Armor into you, and if that happens, you need to make sure you tackle out his mana before you fight him. And that's because the Warmog's Armor will make every single trade close to worthless unless you can constantly attack him to make sure the Warmog's regen doesn't kick him. Do not try to teamfight into Ornn, it's really bad, and that's because he will always outscale you in teamfights. What you can do is purchase your Stridebreaker as usual, or even Rushing Trinity Force, and then as your second item you can do Lord Dominic's Regards into Hullbreaker, and all you do is sit on side lane and permanently split push. The moment you get Hullbreaker, your cannon minion will also be hyper buffed on resists, so because of that you can straight up ignore Ornn and hit his tower. You go under the tower, proc Demolish, and proc the Hullbreaker effect and then walk away. You just need to make sure you don't die in the actual trade, like maybe he stuns you up under the tower while you hit him or something. And even if he uses that ultimate on the cannon minion, it's still not going to die because it's gonna have like over 100 armor and MR. The only way he could realistically kill that cannon minion in a good amount of time is if he had true damage, but because Ornn has no true damage, that's not an issue. Just play it slow in the lane, don't overextend, try to short trade when your W is up, and wait for your 2 to 3 item spike.
Stand.
kill. Quadra kill.
Thank you guys for joining me in this video. I hope you found the information useful, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully very soon.
This crown is a heavy burden, but for Demacia, I will bear it.